All right. Well, welcome to the call, everyone. It's just a beautiful day up here in North Dakota where I'm living. Like we were talking about before the call, a little bit of smoke in the air, some fires going around. I don't remember how many fires, 70 some fires going around in the Pacific Northwest up here in the States. And, it's affecting our air quality and things like that. And one more reason that we really need to be taking good quality products to detox our bodies and give us the nutrition that we need every single day so that we don't get sick. That really is the key, in my opinion. The key to health is don't get sick. And so you'll hear me say that quite often. Anyhow, good morning to you down in Australia. And I know it's bright and early for some people, and some people, if you're in other parts of the world, it's the middle of the night. And so thanks for taking the time out of your day to be here and join us on the call. My name is Dr. Kirk Fisnick, and this is the Sisel World Team. And really, this is our weekly presentation. It's a presentation that we try and help our business partners, the distributors on our team, even the customers. We try and help them so that they can live healthy and if you're building a business, we're going to help you build your business effectively. Tonight, I want to talk a little bit about tools, and so as we look at tools, a lot of the industry leaders, the veterans in the industry, the people that have made a lot of money, they say that when you're talking about your business, you really should be pointing at a tool all the time. And I'll try and explain why they say that. But what are some of the tools that we're talking about when we talk about tools? People think of a lot of different things when they think of tools. They think of mechanics and carpenters and things like that. But in our business, a tool is something that's going to help you build your business. It's something that you can use to develop a system. And I think that as you move further into being a business owner, an entrepreneur, you really want to think about how do you develop a system? Well, websites are a great way. That's a great way to start. You can share websites. You can tell people to go to your website. You can build your own website. A lot of people do that, and they put just the information on it that they want to put on there, and so you can use websites. Some people use brochures. I've been looking at some brochures lately that some of our team are developing. And what a great tool that is. You can hand it out. You can be out in the public. You can be at a mall. You can be at a shopping center. You can be just about anywhere. You can hand out a brochure to somebody and you can say, here, take a look at what we got. We've got recordings, just like the recording of this call tonight. This is a tool. This is a tool. Some of the stuff on the call is, like this first section of call. This is more geared toward the business person. And then the second part of the call is really going to be toward business people and to customers. It's going to talk about, we're going to talk about Fucoidan and how Fucoidan can help you with your health. But recordings are a great way of building your business, sharing recordings, products. You can use products as tools. You can hand out samples of the coffee. You can hand out samples of the iced tea. You can hand out samples of different things, and you can have people try it. You can put transfusium on their skin. Products can be tools. Sometimes you'll have a person that you really feel is on the fence, and you need to push them off the fence. Sometimes you give them an entire bottle of product to push them off the fence. So you can use that as tools to help you build your business. DVDs, CDs, it's another way of handing out a recording. These are the tools of the trade that you can use to build your business. And so when you're building that, you can use that, you can talk about the tools. And so sometimes when I'm talking to people, we talk about overcoming that fear of the business. A lot of people are just nervous about it. And I know some of you know what these numbers are, but these numbers to me are kind of interesting, right? These are the numbers. They represent people that you will bring into your business. And, raise your hand if you know what these numbers mean in our business. So 70 was the first number. That's the number of people who you're going to recruit who never go out and recruit anyone. 20, that was the second number. 20% of the people who you recruit, they'll recruit one or two. 5 was the third number. 5% of people that you bring on board will recruit 3 to 5. 3% of people will recruit 6 to 9. And only 2% of people that you ever bring into business will recruit 10 or more. And I'm throwing this number out there because of the next 100 people that you bring on board into your team, statistically, 90 of them will never really achieve building a successful business. They'll never make enough money to really even pay for their product. And some people tell me, they say, well, yeah, but I've already proven that wrong. Well, perhaps you have. And the key to it is that if you train your people better, you're going to take those bigger numbers, the 70%, the 20%, and the 5%, and you're going to move them up one rank. The 70% will become the 20%, the 20% will become the 5%, and so on, and they'll recruit more people. And so using tools, you can do this. And when you look at a carpenter, carpenters nowadays, they don't use a handsaw. They got power saws. And if you're trying to do this business without any tools, it'd be like building a house with a handsaw. You're just not going to do it. So what you want to do is teach your business partner how to use the tools effectively. One of the most common mistakes that I see that beginners make is when they get into business and then they say, well, you know, I'm not going to get started yet. I'm going to wait until I have my own product store. I'm going to wait until I have my own success in the business before I share it with anyone. Well, you know, the whole problem with it is that if you never share your story with anyone until you start making money, how will you start making money? I mean, think about that. It doesn't even make any sense, right? Because you can't make any money by consuming the product. So you have to share the product and you have to go out and build. And what I like to hear are the stories when people tell me, yeah, I already shared it with 12 other people, but I haven't even gotten my product yet, right? And so get with your upline, get with the people that brought you on board and have them show you how to do that. Have them show you how you can use other people's stories to build your story. And like we talked about last week, there's 4 parts of an effective story. The background, you know, what's your background? Your reason why, really, what are you trying to fix? What are you trying to get away from? What are you trying to go towards? And this is a really important part of the story that a lot of people tend to forget. They jump right into the solution. They start talking about, oh, we got this great product, right? And the problem with that is that if you skip the background and you skip your reason why, what you want to fix, what you want to get away from, and you jump right into parts 3 and 4, you're making it more like a sale, right? You're already trying to close them, and you haven't even brought them into your story yet. So you got to learn how to do the whole part of the story. Again, if you don't know about this, get back to last week's call. Get a hold of your upline. Get a hold of me, and I'll get you a copy of last week's call. I'll put it in the newsletter next week. Katie, let's put it in the newsletter for next week as well, so that it's there again for people who want to go back and listen to that. So where do the tools fit in the story, right? We're talking about tools tonight, and then we're talking about story. So how do the two relate? When I'm talking about my background, I tell people, yeah, I'm a chiropractor, and, you know, I really got interested in anti-aging medicine, and my son, you know, had asthma, and I talk about the fact that my son sang at Disney World, and you know, and these different things. Is there any place where I bring a tool into that part of the story? No, not really. How about the portion where you're talking about your problem, when you're talking about the things that you want to get rid of? Like when I talk about the fact that, I was so busy working in my clinic, I couldn't get away. I mean, I couldn't leave. Here I was a business owner. I was very successful. I was selected as one of America's top 100 chiropractors in 2004. But when my son got to sing a solo at Disney World, guess who didn't get to go? That's my problem, and so I can't really share a tool there, but guess where I start sharing the tools? When I bring out the solution. The solution to it is that, look, I wanted to have more time so I could spend more time with my family. I could spend more time with my kids, and when they start to have kids, they'll be my grandkids, and I want to be able to spend more time with them. And all of a sudden now I can start bringing in the solution. Here's my solution. Here's what's going to solve my problem. I found some compelling information that I thought you might have an interest in. Would you take a look? Here's what some experts have said. Based on this information, I know not only will I live to be 110 years old, but I'm going to have enough money to live forever, right? Those are ways that you can present the tools. So I hope you can see how you can wrap some of the issues into the solutions in the future by using the tools. And don't go looking for one tool. A lot of people, they'll say, well, Kurt, what do you use? And I'll tell you what, I mean, if you ask me that question, I'm going to give you the same answer I give everybody else. I really don't have one particular tool that I use all the time. It really depends on who I'm talking to. I mean, if I'm talking to someone that like one of my friends from high school, he called me last night, and his buddy has cancer, has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I'm certainly not going to use the compensation recording as the tool. But I do like the compensation recording as a tool, but it's not going to be the one I'm going to use there. And so, you see, you want to have different tools. If you're framing, you're going to have a framing hammer. It's a big, heavy hammer for pounding in big nails. If you're doing finishing work, if you're putting the trim around a window, you're not going to use a framing hammer. You're going to use a little tiny hammer that's going to tap those little nails in, right? So get to know your tools, get to know which one's for which, and all of a sudden, you're going to be a black belt at this. And that's what you want to be. You want to be the black belt. You want to be better than your upline. You want to be better than anybody in the industry. And so you just, you can do it. I know you can. You've got it in you. Every one of you does. So if you use the tool properly, what it does is it takes the focus off of sounding like a desperate salesperson. It doesn't sound like you're trying to sell something. You focus on that tool. You focus on the subject of that tool. This brochure does this. This recording does this, right? You see how you're not talking about the product anymore. You see how you're taking the focus away from that. All of a sudden, you don't sound so salesy. And get to know your tools. Have a toolbox full of tools. And from now on, when you get to the solution, when you get to the future part of your story, at least in your mind, be pointing at a tool. Be pointing at a tool. Okay? So anyhow, that was something that I really wanted to share when we talk about tools, and I know you'll find some that you